All right, welcome everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic day. The day that the snow never seems to end. At least that's what's happening here. I think in the last 2 days, I probably spent 6.5, close to 7 hours of shoveling. This morning should have been real easy. It was only another 2 inches or so, solid sheet of ice on top of the snow. I spent 2.5, almost 3 hours out there digging out cars and driveways and all that fun stuff. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope your day was better. There you go. Ray goes ditto. Exactly, right? We got crushed, Ray. Crushed. We got a house in Queens, a four family, and tenant was shoveling for us as they always do. And someone came running up to them, yelling at them. They're not allowed to put the snow at the curb because cars can't get out. It's a 1 block wide of cement to walk on. That's all it is. It's just 1 block. There's no wide sidewalk. It might be five, might be 4.5 feet. It's not even five. It might be 4.5 feet of walking space plus the little bit of curb, which is about 16 inches. And they're screaming at this tenants that they can't put it there because then they can't get out of their car. It's like, where do you want me to put it? There's nowhere else. Can't put it in the street, right? It's just fun. Ah, yeah, there you go. Same here. Too much shoveling. I know, John. I got it. There is nowhere to put it. Yep. And they're asking us, I mean, we have a lot of property. So they're asking out here if we put it on our own lawns, which I did. I put everything on our lawn today. And um, but this is going to sit with us a long time. So, with that, keep in mind that everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. All right, fantastic. Let me just check what we got here, guys. Um, Sorry. My wife is notifying me that gold is up over 5,000. She needs to know that it hit 5,100. Yeah, so Andrew said my screen's not shared. Guys, my camera says that the Zoom says my camera is being used by another device. I have nothing else with the camera on, so it's not letting me turn it on. I don't want to shut it off and come back in again. Um, so today, sorry, we'll just have no camera for today. So, all right. So the agenda today is our follow us page, today's trades, economic reports, a review of the market, upcoming trainings, a weekly training topic, and your stocks review. So here's our follow us page. You can go to any one of these websites, go to YouTube and put Trade with Rob, go to YouTube, put Wealth Builders HQ, and you will find us. You cannot do that on the Trading Post. That is an actual website that Andrew will drop the link in. Yeah, so screen should be shared. Sorry about that. Nope, I need to replace it. Thank you for that, though. Good catch. What was that? Trip. Appreciate it. And Andrew. Excellent. Thank you, guys. So the Trading Post is a link that Andrew will drop in and you can go and register for. Every day we put out a newsletter. The start of the day, we're making new changes to it all the time, adding more pieces to the puzzle. So it's free. The only way to get on there, though, is you have to say, yes, I want it. We don't just add you to it. All right. Today's trades. What trades did y'all do today? Let me see. Drop them in the chat. I've got zero because I did not plan on all of these hours spent on cleaning snow today at all. Jeff said did four mini NQ trades on one account plus $190 after 15 minute after the market opened, then 6 minutes, and did a second account, six trades, also micro NQ, average 6 seconds for $81. Wow. There you go. Tripp said one scalp this morning on Broadcom, AVGO, 28.8% in 6 minutes. Nice. Very nice job there, Tripp. Dennis said none today, still holding over from last week. Patty said AMD bullish. I'm still in. Excellent. Good for you, Patty. I mean, we got a great market today, so life is looking good. You know, if we look, let me just see where this opens up. Let's go there, and then let's go there. All right. So we had last week. We got AMD last week. This is on Pop. This is on Pop last week, and this would be on the 22nd, which is right here. So look where we opened, or where we closed. Look where we opened, how we pulled back. So if we go and pull up AMD, 22nd, let's go a little down, more scrunch. Okay. So we pushed up and we ran all the way down right away, very quickly, right? We came back up, we failed, we broke above, we retested, we bounced right in here, 1105, 1110. We're in that trade. Wasn't a big trade. It only generated on one contract, it generated $78 on this day. So let me go back to the daily. Right on this one right here, it generated 78 bucks for the day. We're not knocking down any doors, but it's one contract, $78. Right? Coinbase was the next one. And these are only the end of the week. Right? Coinbase was on the 21st. So right here, 22nd, we couldn't get a trade. If we go look at a 5-minute candle on the 21st, it's right in here. So we pushed up, we closed right here, stretched a little bit higher, failed. If we go look at a 1-minute candle on the 21st, look at it. We closed right there. That fib line is 231.17. We closed at 231. I'm sorry, not close. Yeah, we closed at 231.01. The fib line is 231.17. That's what it was. So with 16 cents difference, we stretched up a little bit higher, failed, and there was the trade taken right off of that 1-minute candle right there. That on Coinbase produced $257.40. And I'll show all the numbers to you in a minute. Carvana was the only one that we took a hit on last week. That was for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday anyway. Let's see, that was on the 22nd. So right here we got a gap up. It's just a matter of how the pattern reacts on the open of the day. 22nd, let's go a little further. You can see it. All right, big 5-minute candle right through. All right, 1-minute candle. Look for 22nd. Right? We pushed up. Again, we pushed up here, stretched down on this 1-minute candle. We bounced. So fib line, 461.70. Close. 463.20. $1.50 away. Stretched down on the next one. Bounced. Entry into the trade. It can't get any simpler. It is a straightforward entry. Everything we do is just that, a straightforward entry. But we would take, I'm sorry, my bad. Where were we? 21st. Oh, I know what I did. That was 22nd. I mixed, well, 22nd. No, so, yeah, it's Carvana. I skipped CrowdStrike. That's what it was. My CrowdStrike is when we lost on. This was $1,224.60. Done. $1,224 in one day, one contract. CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike went against us. That was on the 21st. That was right here. So we took a bearish entry on CrowdStrike. If we look at the daily chart on CrowdStrike, oh, whoa, too much stretching. 21, right? So right here, this day, we took the bearish entry. We're not going to take the bullish. Right? We're down here. We're not taking the bullish, taking bearish. We opened up, we ran up, we failed, we took the bearish entry. Excuse me. But we lost $319.80 on that one. And then we've got Oracle. Oracle was on the 22nd, right in here. We made $93.60. It retested, it failed. We took the trade, 93 bucks on one contract, 93.60. We're up 1,334 for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week, all on one contract trades. Let's see. Paul said, on those simple entries, what are you buying? Actual shares or calls? I'm only buying the options on it, Paul. These are not stock trades, especially thinking we're going to start doing, the downside on the stock, we would have to short. And I don't believe the average person should be shorting stock. I don't think the mindset and the skill set are there for the average person to short stocks effectively. If I buy a put for $4, I know going in the most I could lose is $4. Shorting people never think they're going to lose as much as they actually do because they wind up holding on forever on shorts. You're welcome. You're welcome. So these were the numbers from last week. Right, again, it's all 21, 22, night and 20 or something, whatever Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were of last week. All right, for the year, $22,078, one contract by the 22nd of the month. One contract trades, 22 bucks. We've got one, two, three, four, five trades here, and we've got 28 minus four, 24 plus. We've done 29 trades already for this year. 29 for the year so far for this month. So excited. Okay, so good job on those that placed some trades. Congrats. Let's go back in here. Economic reports. Let's go bring up the thing with the thing. So today, both 8:30 reports, they're both orange. I'm not really concerned with them at all. Right? Tentative Trump speaking is orange. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. Everything Trump says is potential being explosive. So I would always put something that Trump says red. I don't know what time he's speaking. Again, I've been outside for hours. I don't know if he spoke or not at this point. Um, Consumer confidence and Richmond manufacturing are both at 10 o'clock, or were both at 10 o'clock. We're going to give them a B rating for the potential to move the market. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, sorry, Wednesday, 2 o'clock, FOMC meeting, Fed statement, right? Are we raising or lowering rates? There is very little chance of lowering rates at this point. Very, 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 very small chance. Come on. How small? 2.8%. 97.2% we're going to stay the same. The way you read this, 350, 375 is current. 325 to 350 would be the proposed. If it were to drop to that rate, that's what the Fed lends money at, and there's only less than 3%. You can go out and look at further months out, but when the next meetings are. But I'm just, man, it is not my jam to go out that far. We don't have enough data. Everybody's looking at what's going to happen at this meeting. No one's focused on, well, this meeting they're not going to raise or lower. They're going to keep everything the same. So let's look at the next one already. We don't know what they're going to say at the statement tomorrow at 2:30, the press conference, all of that. We don't know what we're going to hear. So that'll get built in after tomorrow. It'll start, but I don't find a lot of value in going further out to analyze what's actually happening out there. Um, Hey Marty, how you doing? Chicago had 5 inches of snow. It was below zero last night. Need to visit like the old days. I know I haven't been to Chicago in a long time. It's funny, my wife and I talked about it. Marty, if you remember the time I got stuck there, I was we taught at the CBOE, Chicago Board of Options Exchange. We taught there. There is a hotel in the CBOE. I was not in that hotel. It's very difficult to get in there. They only have like 16 rooms or something in the hotel, usually for executives of the CBO or something. And one of our students, Rosemary, was in the hotel. She got really friendly with the front desk and went there and said, listen, he's stuck here. Can we move him to this hotel? And was able to get me a room there instead of me staying in the one that I was at. And I was stuck in Chicago for 5 days because the snow and ice was so bad in New York, we couldn't get planes in and out. 5 days stuck there. My wife had to shovel 26 inches of snow, which is like half her height. And she's 4 foot 11 and a half with heels. So, um, but it was a lot of fun, Marty. It sure was. Tripp said Fed Watch shows first likely lowering in June right after Powell is replaced. Yeah, go figure. Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. If Trump is able to throw this other Fed member off for the whatever scam claiming or is being claimed against her, not him, but is being claimed against her for real estate fraud. If he's able to do that, I think you might see him push to get Powell off too. But it's not going to make a difference because no matter what, I do not believe confirmations are going to be easy for whoever the Fed chair is. I just don't see it. I think we're going to drag out as long as possible to not have a Fed chair in place. I just see it. Um, okay. All right. So we go back and look at Thursday. We got unemployment. It's at 8:30, so it's an A claim, a B claim because it's before the market. Friday, PPI, both of them, they're before the market. Not worried about it as much. Okay. But some opportunity for market moving stuff. Wednesday, you're going to see lighter volume throughout the course of the day. So caution grasshopper. He who, Brenda? You mean Trump? I don't know if he's going to be speaking. Is he speaking on what's going on with the Fed member that is up for real estate fraud? I forgot what her name is. Claimed primary residence or non-residence. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure because I hadn't heard what he's talking about. But it doesn't matter. It's just when he talks, things happen, right? Markets move when he's chatting. Up or down, they move. All right, market review. Let's go take a look, see at the charts. All right, S&P 500. My phone has had, let's see, let me look. Um, I have had at least 10, 12, 10 or 12 individuals that have messaged me today. I haven't gotten to look at voicemails yet, that have messaged me today about the markets and what are we doing? We're going to all-time highs again. Every day it's this new, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This life-altering event of I need to freak out over what's happening in the market. And you don't. You actually smart traders, the ones that know what they're doing, take a step back and analyze it all. So if you look at what happened on Friday, and then look at what happened, I'm going to use Thursday as the same in the same vein, right? If we put Thursday and Friday together, just get rid of today, okay? We had very similar patterns, slightly different candle, but the wicks were almost exactly the same heights, a little bit smaller on Fridays than Thursdays. The body was bigger. We closed about the same price. I mean, we're about the same candle on over the course of the 2 days. So nothing about this was fearful. But Rob, we broke through that bottom in that fib level in there. We broke through the moving averages. We didn't break through the swing low, right? That we had a lower swing low. That's the critical one right there. We had a swing low, a lower swing low, right? That swing low that we're getting near, that's the important one. At least it was on Friday, right? Or into today as the markets are opening because we've been there before. We're getting close to that one. Is this one down here important? Yeah, just not today. We're not there right now. Plenty of other stuff I could focus on. Don't look at this and say, well, I really do believe that we always, always, always have to know. Come on, there's a long way to go. We always, always, always have to know what that 4181 is. You never know when we're getting back to that level. We got to keep close eye and a close watch on there. We are so far removed from that level, it means nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we don't have to worry about it. Just like right now, we don't have to worry about the next swing low. We're not there yet. Might we have to? Yes. Do you need to know it's there? Absolutely. Yes, you need to know it's there. Are you worried about it or focused on it today? No, you can't be. Today was a great gap up. It just gaps us up into a rank of three. Bullish bias rank of three. True bull rank of three. Now, if I get a setup on a stock, there are trades that I can take that are bullish entries, even though the S&P is at a rank of three. Doesn't mean my stock is at a rank of three, right? But if I can get the S&P at a rank of one and my stock at a rank of one, now we're humming along. That's the best setup at all. Okay, but I can consider, and I just pulled out my pop action plan from last week. The only potential bullish trade we had was Costco, which required a pullback. Today we were a gap and go on the market. I don't know where Costco went. I didn't look at it yet. Um, Costco? Yeah, so Yeah, we moved up. I was anticipating when we did this Thursday's close. I was anticipating pull back down here, pull back with the bullish with a pullback to the eight. So we're just hanging at this point. 4 days in a row, we're using that fib line. So nothing really happening for us there. All right, so let me bring this back in perspective. Let's go to an F3. All right. Overall, I'm very pleased with what's happening with the S&P 500. We are potentially days away from an all-time high. I'm not saying we're getting there in days, but the potential is there, right? We're sitting at 69.58, we'll call it 69.60. The all-time high is 69.86. We're 25, 26 points away from the all-time high. That's how freaking close we are. We are in a blue zone right now. The blue zone was a previous swing high and the 69.56. Got a nice tight zone in there. We're just hanging in there now. Do we fail? Do we bounce? I don't know, and I'm not worried about it either way. It's okay, whatever it does. Right? Absolutely okay, whatever it does. What do I want to see it do? I want to see it continue to push up. Right now, move up, retest, and a bounce, potential bullish entries. You do have a swing high, a lower swing high than the all-time high, then the 7,000, then the fib line. There's a lot of lines above our head right now. So, man, we are in, the snowstorm that blew crap all over the place, right? And you can't see it because underneath the snow is a garbage can, it's a recycle bin, it's a used up Christmas tree that someone threw out, a tire, whatever it is. There's just a lot of junk underneath the snow right now, and you can't really see it. That's what all of these recent, all of these fib lines and swing highs and swing low levels are. Just that. It's all junk. It's obstacles on an obstacle course, which is exactly what we're contending with right now on the S&P. But I mean, guys, 69.60, we're 40 points away from 7,000. We move 65 points a day. We move 65 points a day. We are, what did I say, 40 points? We're 40 points away from the high, the all-time high. Ah, right. So Jim said the S&P daily candle is hitting your ABC pattern. Fib numbers. Today's candle is there. Wait. Today's candle is there a 618 area? Wait. What am I missing, Jim? Let me read that again. Candle is hitting your ABC pattern. Fib number. Today's candle is there at 0.618 area. I might not. I don't think I'm just understanding exactly what you meant, Jim. Maybe clean it up for me a little bit. Help me out. Deborah said, silver is exploding, and I don't have any dry keg powder to capture it. So, ironically, I went into Forex Factory and programmed in NASDAQ, S&P, gold, silver, and crude, right? So, gold futures up 50 to 50.90, it was at 5,100 before. Silver is 115 frickin' dollars for silver. Okay. So if we just put a column here that says Rob, and I still want to add Bitcoin to this, right? About 20 bucks an ounce on silver. And I've got a decent amount, right? Hi ho silver, exactly, Amelia. I've got a decent amount of silver. Um, it's at $115. So it makes it to 120. It's a 600x, 600 times or 6R on my silver, crushing it, right? Near 100% this year on gold, which is outstanding. Crude oil, I watch more for the fact of we buy crude or we buy oil, refined heating oil. So I'm at a locked in price, but I always like to see if I would have gotten better or worse. I always keep a good eye on the market. Um, but I do believe, 60.81. What did we pay yesterday? 257 for gas yesterday. And I realize some of you may be paying a lot less than that. Someone told me one time they saw 197 in a gas station in the next town from them or something, not long ago. I'm guessing that's more the exception than the rule. We're seeing that 257, 279. So 59, 79, 20 cents apart. Some up to $3, 305, but Those are the gas stations with no cars in them. Those are the people that don't want to sell gas. They're bad at marketing. Let's sell it for a much higher price than anybody wants to pay or than anybody else is charging. Um, and then, I mean, NASDAQ, SPX, 6960, right? And the likes. So overall, I like this page. It's my watch list that I was able to build. So you go to the watch list tab, manage watch list, and you can add your own symbols in there if you want to grab the ones I have in there. Let me see if I can put Bitcoin USD. I don't want to do pro share. Okay. Here we go. 87,000. Beautiful. So now I got a quick watch list in there of exactly what's going on the future stuff that I want to look at. Maybe I can maneuver them around a little. I like to look at it a certain way. I always like the S&P to be the top one, Bitcoin being last. That's just the way I have it on other platforms. Just easy to remember it all the same way. I just started throwing stuff in there today. But I'm loving uh, Perplexity's finance tab. I think it is absolutely outstanding. The finance tab. So predictions, screeners, stock analysis, comparisons, blah blah blah. All right. Okay. Dennis said, am I a Bitcoin trader? I'm a Bitcoin investor, Dennis. I own Bitcoin at about 19,000. It was when the last time I bought Bitcoin at 19,000. And I just moved a bunch of cash into an account where I can get access to it again. So I'm looking for a little bit further down. We look at VIX, beer. Beer's kind of flattish, 18 cents down. Not that big a deal, right? Who cares? All right, it's fine. We're low at 16 bucks, 15.90, so we're good. Trip said we were talking in the lab about Wednesday, starting with earnings on ASML, GE, AT&T's Bucks, then the Fed statement, then Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, LRCX. Put on your seatbelt, baby. It's going to be a big run. Yep. Lots of big earnings this weekend next. Yes, you're right. All right. So Jim, you were talking back about the S&P. Let's go back to that purple one. So the 695622, got it. It's purple. That is your 618 of the ABC fib number. Yes, that is correct. Correct. That's the ABC. So we came off of that A where we started, that B, which was the all-time high at the time. So, not all-time high, but the swing high at the time for that run. Pullback was the lowest low. And then our bounce. 618 said we made it up to the 236, 23.6% of the overall move, which is from A to B. That's the equivalent, whatever that is. If that's $100 from A to B, then C to D, D being 100% would be the same $100, but from C. Okay. I don't know if there was a question there, Jim, or if I just wasn't understanding how you were saying it or what. But if you're good, then we're good. If not, if I'm missing something else, just drop it in. Okay. All right, let's go back here. Market review. So we've got upcoming trainings. We've got Inner Circle tonight, which is 7 p.m. Tonight is Trading You. Mastermind is on the 27th. That's tomorrow. Monster Market Movers is the 29th. Trade Watch Alerts Q&A is coming up on the 2nd. Pop covered call E-mini on regular schedule, as is Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook. E-mini Revolution, Brandon's got 2 left, only 2. He's already taught 2 of those classes. You don't need to get to all of them. They are the same type of class, basically, folks. Slight differences in them, but they are the same class. One is the 27th at noon. The other one is the 28th. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. We got our upcoming classes for that. All right, weekly training topic. Let's see. So Jim said, your Fib ABC numbers are amazingly close to what is happening in the market. No question. Okay, you're just pointing out how valuable the levels are, and I appreciate that a lot, Jim. And you're right. I mean, we pushed up to it this time, which was an all-time high. We lived there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. We lived at that level, right? Including now, including today. So it's had a lot of value to it. And there's been a lot of hesitation between that blue zone and our recent swing highs we've had. So we'll see how it all pans out. But I always feel good about um, the S&P. I mean, I guess to me, it's more about, it's not me trying to be right or wrong. It's more how accurately does it predict what's going to happen. And when you know how to read it, it's pretty darn good. You know, if you've never seen um, one of those little paddles with the ball and the string attached where you get at the circus and you hit it back and forth and the ball stops often. If you've never seen it, you'll be swinging at it like an idiot, right? You have absolutely no idea what to do. Once you played around with it a little bit, you get pretty cool. You get 10 in a row and 15 in a row and 25 in a row and so forth, right? No different. Right now, for some, you may just be swinging at it. Something moving, let's just swing, right? And obviously, that's not the way we want to approach what happens in the markets, right? So let's see. Yep, fib numbers are valuable. They are, without a doubt, they are amazingly accurate, at least from what I have been able to ascertain with my little bit of knowledge and experience in them. Okay, let's take them back in here. Weekly training topic. Okay. So will the S&P hit 7,000 or 6,000 first? Now understand, we did this analysis last week, right? Earlier on in the week is when I said the analysis. We picked a topic for today's class, right? So this was Wednesday of last week. This was Tuesday of last week. We normally pick it between a Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So we had made a nice move down, 6 to 800. We were not in a place of fear and or panic, but we were in a place that we put in a lower swing low. So to ask that question of are we going to get to 6,000 versus 7,000 first, right? What's the more likely choice? If you go by percentage of chance, the likelihood is the upside. It's a lot easier to get up, 40 points than it is to go down 400 points, whatever the number is. Okay. So for me, 7,000 is just a number. 6,000 is just a number. The important thing is your process that you go through in your head. Yes, the 6 inch of gray matter between yours, exactly. That process that you go through in your head to manage what you're doing and the how you're going to accomplish it, what you see and what you anticipate, that right there, folks, is the biggest part of everything. How effectively can you identify a pattern, a move, capitalize on it, see it happening, capitalize on it, and not, after the fact. Because I've done that a million times. I look at it and go, oh my God, how did I not see that? When I was too late, I can't do anything about it. Right. And usually I did see it. I just chose to ignore it because I made a decision. And at that point in my life, I decided that being right was more important than being rich. Now I don't care if I'm wrong every single time. If I'm rich because of it, I don't care. Yes, I'll be wrong. Make me rich. Fine. Fine. Yeah, exactly. Right? I'm okay with it, with all of that. But you've got to look at the market as a day to day and analyze it. And we've talked about this just at nauseum, it almost feels. To me, I think the importance behind it is hearing it until you see it, until you get it, until you do it. The movie Scrooged with a D, Scrooged, right? Bill Murray in it, right? Great movie, right? Great analogies you can draw from in there of seeing what happened with that last ghost on Christmas, right, or Christmas Eve, with that last ghost there, all these things that are going to happen, might they happen, right? And you better change your ways or else you're in trouble. Basically, was the gist of it if you haven't seen the movie, right? I didn't spoil it for you, but that's the gist of it. You've got to look at this, and every little bit matters. That was to Ebenezer Scrooge, was money important? Yes, abundantly important, without a doubt. Money was crucial in his life, as it is to most people. But there were other things that were more important for him. You know, for me personally, I don't I don't use money as the word. I use finances, right? Making sure that my finances are taken care of, right? Finances are important, but finances for me is number three. That is number three. There are two much more important things to me than that: faith and family, and then finances. And I think it just comes down to balance. If all you're focused on all day long, day in and day out, is money, is finance, is you know, how much do I have? How much am I making? How much is my wealth going up today? I think you're spending a lot of time. I think you're losing a lot of time where you could be focused on things that are important, right? So every one of us at some point, hopefully in our lives, have been blessed with something, right? For me, right now, my mom at 85 years old and asthmatic, pretty bad. She's on the border now of asthma slash COPD, all from smoking, and she knows it. She hasn't in years, but it doesn't matter. The damage is done. And she lives 45 minutes away from us. On days like yesterday with the weather, there was no way to get to her to help her. None. And even if I could, there's nowhere to park. She lives on a massive one-way street, busy. When I say massive, busy one-way street, but narrow enough that it's hard to get two cars next to each other if you double parked. And then after the snow yesterday, you wouldn't be able to get anybody past at all. So there's no way to get that to help her. So she relies on good graces of neighbors, that younger neighbors that come over to help her, right? And that's important. For me, for her, she needs it. It's critical, right? It's the process she goes through. For me, there's a woman here whose husband died many years ago. We were living here at the time when he did pass. And she's outside yesterday. She's got a decent sized home, two car wide driveway, and she's shoveling with a garden shovel. She's shoveling in her driveway yesterday. So I went over with snowblower yesterday and blew out for her. I was going to go back this morning, but another neighbor jumped over there and she took care of the rest of it for her today. Right? That to me, that grace, that expectation is critical. In the market, if you have everything else right in your life, finances are much easier to focus on. And I'll give you an example. If you are just uber stressed right now because you're afraid that your job is going to lay you off, fire you, whatever it is, right or wrong, it doesn't make a difference. Fire, lay off, whatever it is bad. No one wants to deal with it. So if everything else is right in your life, and when I say right, I don't mean perfect. That's not going to happen. But if you're in a if you're in an okay way and everything else in your life, then you've got a much better chance of doing well or doing better in the markets. But then you analyze what's going on the market. So if I were sitting here right now and markets closed, pretend, right? Markets closed. I'm sitting here at the end of the day and I'm looking at this. It's okay. I'm at a bullish bias rank of two. What does that mean? Means we're above all our moving averages. It is a true bullish bias. They're in the correct order. Smallest on top, intermediate one in the middle, longest on the bottom. Okay, got it. Now what? Now we've got a blue zone above our head. So hesitation is a standard thing expected there. Has it hesitated there before? Uh-huh. Multiple days. Multiple days. Has it been above that? Yes. 4 days. It's been above it. So those levels become important. See what I mean? I can methodically, step by step, lay out a process of what I'm looking for. Now I need to go find a stock. So I don't know. The S&P is bullish. I said this 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe here. 70 to 80% of all stocks move in the direction of the S&P 500. So if you are a newer trader, do not trade against the market, trade only in the direction of the S&P. If the S&P 500 right now is bullish, you're not taking bearish intraday trades or swing trades, doesn't matter. You're not taking a bearish trade. right? AMD is not horrible. Good setup as an aggressive trade. Amazon, possibly. Not interested in APP. Broadcom, nope, nope. Don't even care who it is. Not even looking at the charts. Costco. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on Costco. Maybe on CrowdStrike, a neutral type move. It's good for everybody. Nothing really yet on Carvana. DoorDash, nope. Very neutral. Nope, neutral. Come on. Nope. Maybe, but not very excited about it. Moving averages are all in the wrong order. Nope. I mean, bearish. So if you saw it last week, this this box has been here since just after they did their split. So the stock was up at 109, 108, $107, whatever it was. Okay. We're moving down, moving down, moving down. And I had a fib with the this line all the way down at 82, right? Is where it is. The low is 81.93. All right, 81.93. So it went right down to it. And I said long stock on bounce off of 82. If I felt confident off of the bounce, it was time to start entering into the trade, buying shares of the stock. All right. I have five different entries that I normally look to do. This is one of them, right? One of the entries there. So am I right? Does that mean the stock doesn't go down now? Well, look where we are. We're right back at a resistance level now. Could we go back down? Yes. And if we do, then I'll continue to look further down and I'll look to buy when we get back down here around this 76, 77 level will be my next entry. And then down here at 68 and so forth. Okay. So will we hit 6,000 or 7,000? Bottom line is I do believe we're going to hit the 7,000. I think we're pretty close. Do I think we're going to explode through 7,000? I do not. I think we're going to move up to it and we're going to pull back. And I think the pullback, not even that, I think the moving up and hitting it becomes more of a component of, okay, we did it. Now just stop talking about it already. Thank goodness it's off our plate. Right? I think that is the did we hit it part. Or are we hitting it? Are we going to hit it? I think that's a big component there. Otherwise, I don't really see anything that says run, 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 run. Doesn't mean we won't. I'm not saying no. But what does the Fed say at Wednesday's meeting? That's a big part of it. Right? The Fed all of a sudden is getting on board with Trump's agenda. I think you'll see stronger moves to the upside, right? So, all right. Trip said $6,000 or $7,000. Yes, reach up and roll over. Exactly. And that's just it. Trip is 6,000 our next target from here. I think. Oh, I missed. I think this. I think the 67, 65 is definitely doable on the downside, but I don't see us getting to our next black line or brown. Just I don't see us getting to 6,000 very easily. I think there's enough stopping points along the way. You got one, two, three fibs in there from where we've been to 6,000. So I don't see it. Could we explode to the upside? Yes, we absolutely unequivocally could explode to the upside. And if we broke the 7,000, we're looking at 70.50 as our next upside target. And I think if it does break and it starts to break hard, I think 70.50 is a no-brainer because we are moving at about $130 every 2 days. That's our pivot. So there's plenty of opportunities, plenty of them in there. All right. Bueno. Let's go back in here. Your stocks in review. What candidates did you want to take a look at? What if the government shuts down on the 31st? I almost believe, Henry, it's baked in there now. I almost believe that it's built in a little bit that we're going to have that government shutdown. And from what I remember, hasn't 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 the haven't the Republicans been spinning off pieces of government shutdown that won't affect it any longer the same way because the funding is built out further? They've done something like that. I thought it was the case that they have. So, um, but could it have an effect on it, Henry? Yes, it all depends because this time I don't think uh, that the Democrats will give in. I think if they shut it down, they're going to keep it down until we get rid of the um, what's it count? Talk too much rule. Until we get fixed that crap, and whether they can just stand up there and talk forever. I just I don't get it. But why we need 60 votes to pass something that we've agreed upon already in the historically? I don't know. I don't know. 60% of it just well, and there's a million things that could come out, right? Anything that has to do with Russia, China, the Middle East, Syria now, and it's just any of those, an ICE raid, a detention from somebody, the New York governor deciding to do this and that. Here's my favorite one right now. Those who live in Washington State, New York is number two. Washington State is trying to pass a law that says 3D printers are illegal. New York State is trying to pass a law that says we get to decide if you're allowed to print it or not. So before you're allowed to print something, it's got to go to our server to make sure it's confirmed it's okay. Really? Okay. So because some government official said, yes, you can print this Spider-Man thingy on your 3D printer or not, they're going to make that decision. I get where they're coming from with it, with readily made gun parts and so forth. But look, if I'm a criminal and I want to make a gun and you're saying it's illegal in the United States, I'm going to get a VPN. I'm going to use a VPN to another country, and then I'm going to print whatever the hell I want. It's going to be as simple as that. Absolutely as simple as that. Or you're just going to get printers that don't go online any longer, like some of the older 3D printers when they first came out, where they are just, self-contained. You're going to feed it a program through a wire, memory stick, whatever, and you're going to walk away. Kind of the same thing, right? So there's a lot out there that could have effects on what's happening with the overall market. All right, so including that shutdown, Henry. But good point. All right, so Brenda's asking for SPY. All right, so I like where we're sitting right now, but we need to get above that 694, which means we're gonna have a need for a 700 in here. Oh, we have it. I just didn't see it. Okay. It was kind of buried in there. So that we've got our all-time high. Where is it? High here was 96.09. Okay, so we got 2 days in a row. All right. So we do have to worry about that 69, 696, that 700 right above. So we're getting back into the obstacle course up here, Brendan. All of our lines are getting very, very, very tight in there. I think SPY, as we start breaking into this range, I will confine my trading on SPY to micro day trading rules. So I'll follow the micro day trading patterns, getting in, getting out, and calling it a day based on that. So if I run into the 696, if I run into the 700, I'm going to be out, right? If I'm well, my resistance near those, I should say. GLD, 441 and 464, 41, 51, 61, 22. All right, we need to split that level in half, so we're going to need a -5. Okay. So we are in virgin territory right now here. So we're going to need to split at least an 809 up here. Okay. So we've got a 500 level up there. We're still going to have to split this in half though. So let's go and add a -809, 64, 74, 84, 20, 18. Yeah, we're going to need to split that as well. 64, 74, 11. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So we're looking at 473, Brenda, for GLD. So, wow. Hey, Norman, AALI. I hope that was helpful, Brenda. Let's see, who is this? Applied something or other. All right. So we're in a neutral bias right now. I'm just trying to decide if I like where this fib is or I felt I need a new one here, but we're still under the -618, so we're going to keep this fib just as it is. We're in a neutral bias right now. So downside target down to 31 half, possibly. We had a high, a lower high, about a equal or slightly higher high in there, but a low, lower low, higher low. So we're starting to move out of that pattern a little bit. We're almost getting into the wedge setup. And then we come from the tops. All right. So you can see it's a much steeper angle on the way up than it is on the way down. Okay. Um, so AAOI, I mean, next upside target is 37 and a half, but you got some obstacles in the way with the 8 and 21. So you got to be careful. Downside, if we break the 34 and a half, look at 31 and a half, it's the next downside target. So I hope that one helped Norman. And then RKLB, Rocket Lab USA. All right. Oof. So kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. 80 and 91, $11. We got 13. So we don't need Fibbits in there. We're good. So ideally it breaks the 80 level, retest and fail, and 70 is a downside target. Wow. A lot of opportunity. Breaks the upside of 91 and a half, 96 is the next upside target. Tripp said fewer government employees makes for less impact, some anyway. Yeah. Well, listen. if we have the shutdown again and it gets to any length of time, the filibuster, I think, will good chance that it's going to be gone, and I think we'll have. But I don't think they'll get rid of it until they actually fire or lay off people in some of these departments that the government is finding do not have value these, any longer. Do we really need a hotline on how to cook your turkey? Maybe, right? Or whatever. I'm just making it up, right? I know Butterball does something like that, but do we really need hotlines for those things? I remember my dad telling me of a study that he read about in the newspaper when I was a kid of why they'd spent $100,000, whatever it was, on why people don't like jail. Well, we're supposed to make it likable. Then maybe they want to go. No, right? So, and I'm in my head at 12 years old, I'm trying to figure out who spend money to figure out why people don't like jail. So, let's see. RKLB. So not bad, but we got to break the 91 or we got to break the 80 level for that one, Norman. So hope that helps. Um, Les, I actually have actual silver. I actually have silver coin that I purchased. Silver is cheap enough. I just buy it in the coins. I buy sleeves of 20 rounds. They're just rounds, or what they're called. It's just a 1 ounce pure silver, 0.995, I guess, but as pure as going to get. I have one on my desk that it's kind of dingy just from weather, I guess, just oxidation, but it's a bull on one side and a bear on the other. It's for flipping the coin. I would never flip it. It's silver coin, but yeah, it's for it's bull on one side, bear on the other. You're welcome, Brenda. Jim said, "Dear, I like the pullback to the eight moving." All right, so let's go pull it up first. Okay. I haven't bought them in a couple of years now, Henry, because pricing had gone up. Um, Give me a second. Let me see if I can see it. There were two places I was getting them from. The one that is on my computer right now is JM, like James Mary Bullion. JM Bullion. Let's see. So Jim said, "Dear, I like the pullback to the eight moving average and the bounce up. If there were, we are now 512.80. Do not know if my fibs were drawn or where you would draw this for going off the 80 MA." Okay. So you can see where my fibs are drawn, Jim, down from the swing low on what looks like April 9th to the high here on May 16th. Okay, is where I've got them. So from that, fib is fine. I should have a 500 in here. We're not near it, so I'm not worried about it. But 500 and 533, we're looking at $30, 30, $34. Wow, we need to split that 11 and a half. Right, so we're going to add a negative 136 and a 118. All right, so give me above that 518 half and 533 is our next resistance. Fail off of this and 503 is our next downside target then on this one, Jim. Is this where you drew your fibs from, Jim? No? All right. Uh, then it said, will the shutdown tank the markets? It didn't the last time, at least not at first. I do believe it's the prolonged that does it. I think I think there are very optimistic individuals that, Trump is going to fix everything and he might be pretty good at doing some stuff, but he's not fixing everything and shutdown is shutdown. Granted, it affects mostly government employees, but now if you're doing things of let's mess with Social Security and things, yeah, that's where it gets bad. Right. So we'll see. But yes, it very well could tank the markets. How do you spell bullion? I don't know. I gotta look. Um, Bullion. JM Bullion. Bull Ion. Gold, silver. They even have Krugerrand. Um, Norman said, just a shout out to Trip and Covered Call Explorer. AAOI last week, $37 strike for a dollar, 8 days in the trade, a little over 7% rate of return. Good job. All right, Norman, I appreciate that. And letting us know. And congrats on that. And Trip, good pick. Good candidate, man. Trip's become, and he always was a good trader. He's become a phenomenal trader now. He's got some pretty damn good systems down pat now. So, and I think we are there, folks. We're right at that 1 o'clock mark. So, with that, everybody, have a great rest of your day. God bless. And I will see you all at our next update. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.